YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. BoomeRBoB show on Twitch. I'll drop links.
Okay.
YouTube as well. Hold on.
Hey, I could get you kicked off YouTube.
Just drop an N-word. Go for it.
No.
Let's see. Twitch. TV.
Hateful to somebody who Twitch put on the front page. Was it worth it?
Oh my God, is a VTuber. Puke.
What the fuck was that?
You know what a VTuber is?
I assume it's a what would V be?
VTuber. I don't know what the hell V means, but like virtual. So everything with them is a cartoon, and the backgrounds are all virtual or like video game type.
You mean they don't look like?
You want to see it? Let's see if I can like share screen here. I doubt anybody's watching. Yeah, we don't have any watchers anyway, so screw it. We go to Twitch. This is a VTuber.
Ah.
Watch.
It doesn't look like a potato.
That's what I say out loud.
Oh shit! What did the Raptors say?
Dude, I just they literally just came in and said, "Do they jiggle?" Like, why is that your?
Oh, it's great. Of course, it won't do that.
Yeah, when you go full screen.
But I don't think I had.
It's so dumb.
Being a weirdo. Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that. I thought you definitely would have one.
Doesn't that?
Listen, there's a lot of hateful
look
ones.
like Duchess.
Well, we could say that. We could say that.
Well, nah.
That we got.
I mean, you could imagine that it does if you close your
Listen,
eyes and think about it.
Blank space is now weird comment.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
an acquaintance who does
Anyways.
that stuff. Okay, I've got it
Anyways.
muted,
That.
and
About
it's
that.
still doing it.
Hello, Mara. How are you?
Stop it! Oh my God, that's horrible. I don't know how to find my own live stream. I mean, this is ridiculous. Yeah, there I am live right there. I don't know how to find my own live stream. Yeah, see, there we are. So that tells you the delay, doesn't it? How do I share? I just copy this up here, this link. No, because it's my own personal. Oh, well. I have to like figure out how to. Did it do a Discord post? Because I did some of this last year. I'd signed up this crap where it auto like notifies.
Unschooled TV.
We have 2 viewers. I don't know where they're probably both me.
or one's you and one. Well, I
Yeah,
guess I
so
could-
we have
yeah.
a streaming notification. All it says in the Discord is Bob's talking S about you again.
Well, but you are.
If you go where John's usually drops, automated, that's all it says. There's no link or anything. It just says Bob's talking shit about you again. Oh, this is great. Okay, we got some chat going on. Duchess is here. Oh,
Duchess is
hey,
here.
hey, Duchess. Sorry,
Where
I
you
didn't.
seeing-
Look, we're using one of those streaming platform or whatever you call it, the crap that John made us use last year around Thanksgiving, because that's when I apparently subscribed and prepaid for this crap for a year. So I'm using it for now because I'm paid through like, I don't know, middle of November. So, and I've never used it other than when we did the bunker on it. It's that Restream one. So
Where
that's
can I
where we
see
are. We're just
chat?
playing. So I'm toying with the name of just testing for the actual show. Ow, I'm gonna break something.
Where should I go to see the chat?
If you look to the right, do you see? I can't share this window because then it would put us into like a black hole, wouldn't it?
Well, I think you kind of already are, but
Not that kind of hole. So let me close this window.
so on the right hand side, I've got a folder, and then underneath that, there's design, caption, QR codes, music, notes.
No, if you look to the right of the window, like the browser, you'll see like a smaller icons where it says design, captions,
Yeah.
QR. Yeah, the chat's on the bottom.
I don't have chat.
Why do you not have chat?
I don't know, but I don't have it.
How about if I overlay the chat?
No comments. Hey, hello, gentlemen.
How about that?
Are you chopped liver? Yes, I can see the overlay. Yeah.
Okay. Stream elements. What did I do that? I don't remember.
Lisa joined us.
Lights out. You know why? Because my lights are out.
Orientation selection.
We both had a severe thunderstorm warning like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I just have the one light on and then what's coming through naturally through the window.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't think that matters. I have the lights out in this room. All I'm using is the LEDs that are back on the wall back there. That's it. And of course the monitors. I got 2 monitors here, but they're both on a dark mode.
You know, one of these days I need to get that green screen from you.
Yep. It's out there in my garage. So
yeah, that's weird that I don't have a chat.
Can you share your window? Like
Sure.
this window, this whatever browser you're using. Are you using Safari?
Yeah.
You fucking noob. Safari locks everything down where you can't do shit. So you need to come back in using Chrome. I know you don't want a Google product on your Mac, and I don't blame you. But welcome to live streaming. Google is easier with the permissions for certain things that these particular streaming sites use, you know, if that makes any sense.
Oops, shit. I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to close that.
So how do I get the chat off? Hey, all right. Got Tom out of here. That was cool. How do I get the chat out of the stream? I got it in there. I don't know how to pull out. Oh, overlay. There it is. Hey, it's just me now. Sexy. Oh God, no. Oh, no. I'm playing with stuff, y'all. Sorry. That's what this is, you know. Oh my God. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Thomas uploaded that. I have no idea what that is. I mean, obviously it's some encyclopedias or something, but can I move myself over here? Nope. That's retarded. Can I not move this to a different corner? This is so weird. No, if those were Thomas's encyclopedias, I don't even know where they went. They just disappeared. If those were Thomas's, they would be laying all over the floor in complete disarray. So, just kind of guessing. All right. I don't know if I guess I could play like a video or whatever to see if I have sound. Great. Hey, that's Thomas. He says I can't find your team. Check the email. Oh, what a dummy. Just go to studio.restream.io. Hold on. I made him like an admin in here so that way he can control stuff, but he's Thomas. So there we go. Let me see if this works. Y'all let me know if we have audio. That'd be great of you. That's not I taught both these guys how to play guitar and bass. Tell me if it's working. Audio. Does that mean it's working or not? Oh, a check mark there. Okay, cool. Yeah, I taught him that too. That lick. I need to teach Thomas how to not be a pain in the ass. Hold on, let me send Thomas just fuck, what a pain in the ass he is. Because he's having to use Chrome, right? Well, when I had to give him a link in email to make him an admin of this, stream thing. And he comes in with Safari, and for those of you who know Apple, Safari's pretty locked down. They don't really let a lot of data, they kind of lock you down. It's a little tighter. Chrome is a little more loose. They're different handling of all the permissions with access to your life, to your microphone, to your camera, that kind of stuff. And so he's having to come back in using Chrome, which I don't even know if he has installed on his computer, because he's a Mac guy. Most Mac people do not want Google products installed on their stuff. That's why they use Mac. Part of why. A little bit more privacy, a little more respect towards the aspect of privacy. And I have to find where to give him a link. Here we go. Add person. No. How do I do this? Copy, invite link, and send to Thomas. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Let's see if that works. That probably won't even do it. He'll probably come in, but he won't be an admin because he's not logged in. I told him to use the email link that I sent him. Copy and paste it into Chrome. Notify anyway. There we go. Figure it out, pal. All right, where'd the chat go? There it is. It's fancy new room. It's not really a new room. I've been here since February, so I have kind of rearranged it though. Chick wanted the desk a certain way in here, and it's like, then she never came in here. I just heard Thomas come in. Then she never came in here. Okay, I guess I have to add him. Isaac Newton. Yeah, wrong on that one, pal.
Well, that's what it suggested when I went to my.
So you're not logged in now as an admin type because you
invited me.
Well, did it ask you to log in?
It did. And then
did you use that email address that I sent?
Yes.
Okay, and you're not admin, though, are you?
No. I am nothing.
So that link I sent you couldn't copy and paste it into Chrome? Okay. Or right click it and open it with Chrome?
Copy. Hang on. Copy link. Paste. Goodbye.
Aha. Got rid of that bitch. Intro music. Can y'all hear that? Let me know if it's too loud. What? He sent me something. I can't tell what it is. You already joined this team. Yeah, so click on go to team account, you ding dong. Oh my God. And this guy's a programmer. Hold on. So click on team account. And if that doesn't work, go to Home Depot and look up how much rope is. I'll buy the first 10 feet. Jeez. That was a text. I talk my texts into my phone when I'm able to. It's bad because sometimes I stutter and I have to just go back to using my thumbs like everybody else. Yep. Programmer can't figure out how to click a link. Fudge. I'm going to see if dropping a video into a browser like John was doing. I don't know if that's what he does anymore, but I'm going to see if that, and then I'm going to share said browser. Oh my God. Don't make me kick him in the nuts. Can you virtually kick somebody in the nuts? Somebody can you invent? That's how I feel right now. Oh, that's Crystal. Thanks, sweetheart. Oh, I got it. That's a good meme, actually. I'm gonna save that one and show you guys this meme she just sent me. That's what this podcast is gonna probably end up being, is just let's share memes together. How do I download this? Is it already? I probably just downloaded it 12 times. Oh, okay, twice. Anyway, I'm going to share this video, which is in a browser, because I'm going to have to mute this shit. It's annoying me. When I click it, it takes me to my account, not your team. Oh. There should be a pull down in one of the corners, maybe on the right, maybe on the left, where it states the name of your team. You can drop that menu down and choose my team. Oh. And then this is why I drink. This is why I pull the wings off of flies in my basement and torture rats with hacksaws. Those were the good old days. All right, back to trying to see if my audio works for you people. So this is browser audio. Let's see if it works. Let me know if it does. If it works, just say works. Don't say audio, because that's how I feel right now. A little jazzy. All right. I'm jazzy. But then Thomas texts me. Yes, that's Thomas. Thomas texts me when he gets mad and breaks glass over his head. Hits that 8th string, that F sharp. There we go. Yep. Yep. That's the show. So do you have audio? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the. Can you hear the music in the video? Anybody? Works. Thank you. This is the jazz. It's excellent music.
So I had to drop down.
Hold on, I can't hear you, and you do not interrupt the jazz.
Fuck the jazz.
It's almost over. It's like getting a shot from the dentist. Be over in a minute. Just a little prick in your mouth. All right. Why did it? Did you do that?
I did.
You're gonna get kicked the fuck out. That's what you're gonna do. Somebody's just got demoted to. All that plays. We'll share a meme.
Huh.
All right. Yep.
So in order for me to, I had to log in, and then you go up to the top right, you click that, then you got to click on switch, which has no indication that it's a team. Then you have to pick the team, and then when I get here, I had to click like 3 more things to actually get into the stream.
How do I get this off the screen? This is a pain in the ass.
What, are you trying to get rid of that third window, or
trying to get rid of my life? There it is.
There you go.
See, it's like it's still there, but now I can. I don't like that view. There we go. But now I can toggle it.
There you go.
Back to the chat so I can see what the hell anybody says. Demoted to programmer. No, he's gonna be fucking demoted to. They offer 2 modes. I could have invited him in as an admin or co-host. Co-host, you can't do as many. You can do stuff. You just can't. You can help like produce the show. I think you can add like you can just share screen, that kind of stuff, but you can't do add many things.
Bob thinks that he's the star of the show.
I didn't say that at all, but when you fuck with my jazz, you're really working your way to the top of my shit list.
Well, that's the end of the show. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We will not be back next week.
This show is called is the name of this show, not the episode, is just testing, because I feel like every episode we do is going to be a test on many levels, a test of my patience, a test of your patience, a test of whether or not this shit's going to work or not. So I thought, what a great name for the show. Just testing.
What do we think? Do we like the name Just Testing? Put a 1 in the chat if you like the name. Put a 0 if you hate the name.
Put a 5 if you want me to play this every time he talks.
Go fuck yourselves, all of you.
Yeah, you gotta have the mic slamming into the wall after. That's so amazing. That's what that is.
Go
Listen.
fuck yourselves,
I know.
all of you.
So beautiful.
5. Too many choices. You think this is a democracy, but it's not. It's a dictatorship.
Well, if it's the current Democrat Party's version of a democracy, right? Like, right, it's the illusion of choice and freedom, right?
Well, you don't even have the illusion because, well, I guess maybe you do. I mean, you get to go to the polls in the primary, you get to cast a vote, you think you're voting for one candidate, and then that candidate drops out, and then somebody else just magically takes over, and in less than 24 hours, you raise $100 million, which was bigger than the war chest than the previous guy had. I mean, it's an amazing thing.
So I'm going to open...
give us the choice, silly.
I had put a link in our little notes thing, and I'm going to bring it up and go ahead and make sure this works, because I've got to learn this shit. Hold on.
I did not look at that.
So I want to turn the window back on. So I just go click, and there it is.
And you might want to...
Does that view work okay? Because I can't adjust any of this shit. So like, I don't know which way to do this.
It works for me,
this
but
way.
I don't know.
Oops, that way. Is that better like that? I don't like the background. I think the background takes away from, like, it draws your eyes away from the article itself. No?
I agree. But if you do the first view, but the background's still there. It's a little better.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something kind of plain, you know, like my hamburgers, kind of plain. Well, where do you
Your hamburgers
put us back? I mean, there's no need for us not to be there. How do we just, okay. Oh, there it is. No, because now we're blocking out part of the article.
Right. So I suggest this. Oh, I see the problem.
Yeah, see what it does? Yeah, would
that's not any
that.
Better.
I mean, if you weren't so fat, we wouldn't take up so much of the damn screen. Am I right?
If I wasn't so fat.
I'm fat with a PH.
You're not podcasting with John Jamingo. You're podcasting with the professor who has a different alias today.
Hold on. So does this background suck? Like, it's a little more just a basic, like, color gradient. It's not. I don't see the problem with it. There's no just black, like, solid color.
We can make one.
Okay. So the article says, I wonder if I can just right click it and say speak text. Right there we go.
Well, I mean,
is that not working?
No.
Okay, hold on. Well, it came through my stuff. It didn't come through there though.
But did it go through the board?
Yes, I heard it in my ears. I just have to figure out, okay, voiceover. I need to send it to main multi-track. Now let me try that.
Oh, Lisa doesn't like books.
Here. Tell me if you hear this.
A $1 million starter home is now the norm in more than 200 U.S. cities.
Do the ladies in the chat? Did y'all hear the voiceover?
Well, if you heard it, then they probably did too.
Well, I would
The
assume
number
so,
of U.S. cities where first-time homebuyers are faced with at least a $1 million price tag on the average entry-level home has nearly tripled in the past 5 years, according to new research.
And now I want to stop and ask a question. I mean, there are 3 persons that you and I both know that do amazing reads, and I understand that there are ads in the pipeline for each of these persons to start their own audiobook service. That would be you, Duchess, and John Jamingo. So why do we not have any or all of these 3 persons doing the read?
Because there's no money in it. I will continue. Okay. The number of U.S. cities where first-time home buyers are faced with at least a $1 million price tag. Now, that's like starter home entry level, like husband, wife, maybe one child, one young child. That's it. No third, fourth kid.
That's not starter, son. That's like halfway down the road. Starter is just yourself.
A starter home can include like one child. Chat, what do you think? Am I right? Or is it Tom's world where no, it's men only that can buy the home with no children, and because that means you'll have to touch a woman? No, but you imply it because we know that your MGTOW is a motherfucker.
Actually, I think I'm more Greystone, but
Greystone, really?
I think
what is Greystone? Would you care to elaborate briefly?
That's where you have no reaction. You do nothing.
Kind of like I just did.
Our starter home was me and Paul with one child.
Thank you. So if you have like 2 kids, though, it's no longer. Oh, you can highlight. See, I didn't know you could do that.
Yep.
Sweet. Somebody put up the middle finger emoji. So when Professor Tom there acts up, I can just bring it up like that. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Dadgummit. Go away. Stop. What are you doing? I clicked something and it wouldn't go away. It was your avatar. So a Thursday report from Zillow indicates that a typical starter home is now worth $1 million and more than 237. Oh, sorry, $1 million or more in 237 cities, up from 84 cities in 2019, underscoring America's ongoing home affordability crisis. It doesn't underscore it; it highlights like a motherfucker. Like it.
Well, but it's not a home affordability crisis. It's an inflation problem. Thank you, Lisa. You're my biggest fan. I'll send you a care package.
Well, I mean, my starter home was a mobile home, so
right. And I'm not arguing the fact that I fully believe that the article is correct when it says that there are starter homes that cost $1 million or more, and that is a problem. But to say that it's just a problem with housing is not a market unto itself. I mean, it is a market. Like if you want to invest, you can think of it as a single market, but it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Prices are up across the board, and that means that houses are affected. And even if we got rid of the inflation from COVID, I think that these prices would still be high. It might be 800, 850,000. I don't know. Also, look at the number of cities that we're talking about versus the total number of cities in the United States. I mean, it's a very low percentage. Now,
it's 237 of them, though. I mean, you're not going to, and Anianta, Alabama is not going to have this problem.
I wouldn't be so sure. I know that 15-ish years ago, I was told that there were a handful of millionaires that were living there. Now, I don't know, if the real estate ever got that high. Well, I can tell you that there was, now granted, there was like 110 acres that went with it, but it was a big house. It had a 5-car garage, 2 apartments, garage apartments above that 5-car garage, and there was actually another house on the property, and that went for $750,000. That was outside the city limits, but I mean, we're talking minutes outside the city limits. Duchess says that her home is valued over $450K and that it's not worth it in real life. So, Duchess, let me ask you a question. If I wanted to buy your home, what would you sell it to me for? It's a 4-bed, 2-bath ranch. Probably 400. Well, I'll split the difference with you. I'll give you $200 for that house. I'll read the next paragraph here. What is behind the price explosion? Skyrocketing house prices, along with elevated mortgage rates, have contributed to a feeling of frustration amongst most Americans about the housing market. The majority of Americans, 76%, say it's a bad time to buy a house. Well, no shit. You mean when inflation's high, it's a bad time to buy? You've got to buy somewhere too. Buy or be somewhere. Ooh, I don't like that. What do you think, Bob? We don't get the emoji. I think I've lost my co-host. He looks muted. If you sell your house for big bucks, you'll have to move somewhere and buy another house. No, you don't. That's a fallacy. Just because you sell one house doesn't mean that you have to buy another one. Doesn't mean you have to move into another home. There are plenty of people that wind up selling their houses and they have nowhere to live. It's called Bidenomics. There was a question I was going to ask Duchess, but now for the life of me, I can't remember.
All right, I'm back. Sorry, man. I was trying to check the services that, or the platforms that we are streaming to. Number one, make sure that they're working, and then drop a link. Hey, man, Wobbly's here. Well, check that out.
Yeah, I saw that.
How you doing, Wobbly? Thomas doesn't know of you.
No, but let me show you this. If you look, so like he's got the little
the piece. It doesn't. Well, it because it doesn't know how to translate that.
Yeah, but this is 2024. I mean, for God's sakes, I know they're web programmers, but Jesus fucking Christ.
Mm-hmm. Sure, buddy. Yeah, Wobbly, this is a show that this gentleman, Professor Tom here, and I have been kind of working on, kind of talking about doing. And we're probably going to go with the actual show title, or the name of the actual show is going to be just testing, because it feels like it just fits. So, yeah.
Yeah, the first several episodes, and I wouldn't even call this an episode because this really is just testing.
How do I get it to where we're just meaning? Oh, yeah, I got to turn the article off.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of goofy. Kind of a pain in the ass. I don't know if I like this particular. I mean, it works, and it doesn't look like a StreamYard, which is what everybody's show. It's obvious that they're using it, but
yeah, I mean, and you've already paid for it. Like, there's some teething problems, but we know we're going to have teething problems when we first get started anyway. So, like, since it's already paid for, let's just go through the pain, and then if we don't like it, you don't have to renew it in November. And
if I can find another one that suits, that has a easier interface, more ergonomic for my brain, then I'll probably just cut my losses with this place and go to the other one. I may look at Ecamm and see, because I do like the ability, John. You can watch John. He'll move, like, if he wants your window to be smaller, he'll change the size of the window, or if he wants the chat to be over here on a whatever. It's just a little more customizable. I am using kind of a new pre-made scenes template that they offer with this one. I was in the old one where you can kind of make your own, and I said, try this now. So I did it, and that was like right before you got there or got here. Yeah. Anyway,
so apparently watching Bob is like watching paint dry. Bob, you paint apartments? You seem to be an expert in this topic. Can you please
no, because I don't watch it dry. I put the paint on there and I leave before it even dries, praying that it does what it's supposed to. So yeah, well, I need I need people that
this is
John's not going to be one with my shit, because he'll be booting on. John's pretty trustworthy. I don't know, he probably try to kick me out of my own damn stream.
Well, I mean, I would do the same. And Lisa, this is why you should be nice to me. We'll make you a moderator. You'll have status.
Well, she's already a moderator. That's the whole point. Hello. So, well, that's the bitch about it, is you gotta, whatever channel we create, wherever we do it, you're gonna have to kind of spam that around and try to get people to go there and subscribe or like, so that, or give it like a follow, so that way when you do go live, you get the notifications and you can jump in and throw shade in the chat.
Yeah, podcasting 2.0 would help with some of that, right? Because it does a bat signal thing. It integrates the chat somehow.
I know with this, like with there's John uses one, I think it's called Sapphire or something like that, that automatically drops when he goes live. It automatically drops the links to whatever platforms he's on in the Discord, which is, I don't know what it does, if it does anything else like on Twitter. I don't get on X that much. I wish you wouldn't have changed the name of it to X. It's stupid as fuck.
Actually,
when you say on X, that means you're doing ecstasy, the drug. It's stupid.
So I learned something the other day about the name of the Tesla models. Apparently, we had the Tesla X, and then we had the Tesla 3, Model 3.
Well, they have
I'm sorry.
No, the Model 3 was the last one.
We had a Model S, then a Model 3, then a Model X, then a Model Y.
Okay.
Which means that if you were to put all those names together, you would get
sexy.
Yeah, that's Musk for you.
Now the S is kind of the sport coupe model. The Y is more of the supercar kind of style, right?
I don't keep up with Teslas. I never really liked them or cared for them. I briefly got into the hype, particularly when there was one at the end of an episode of Leverage, but that was before that show went woke.
Right. Trying to see what I can find here.
I'm trying to think of something to talk about.
So this person made a graphic. I'll share it here in the.
Oh, if this is what it. Oh, okay.
There we go. So this is the 3 on the top here.
Mm-hmm.
The Y, which looks like a 3 to me.
It's a little different, but yeah.
Your fucking mom's a little different. I'm just kidding. Let's see.
Well, I mean, if you look at this graphic, like they're all kind of similar, but you can kind of see the differences, and because they're next to each other, you can really see the difference. But that having been said, like, oh, and while I'm thinking about it, so
that
one
looks
thing,
identical.
one thing against Ecamm, look at the top of the roof between the first two. So it's
Let me back out just a little
slightly
bit.
different.
Barely. I see the only difference I see here is the door, like the back door here is a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
and then the wheels,
hubcaps,
obviously.
yeah.
Well, not hub. They don't. I don't think Tesla's put hubcaps on their cars. I think they're actually, So this is the X again, which looks like that one, and then the S, which is more of a sport coupe kind of design. I think it's a little bit like bigger. It's more of a full sized kind of a sedan.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's I don't know.
I mean, like, as a humanist in the Renaissance sense of the word, I'm interested in pushing technology forward because that means it's something else that humans can do. It's an improvement. It's progress. I never really bought into the whole notion of electric cars because I think that they're still not ready. Like you can't go the distance. They can't charge that fast. We don't have the ability to swap batteries quickly. So you don't get the same experience that you do with either a diesel or a petrol or gasoline powered vehicle. And not everybody's going to be able to plug them in and charge them. I mean, if you have a house and you have a garage, okay, that's nice. But you're going to pay for that on your electric bill. I mean, you pay at the pump, so maybe that works itself out. But because it's electric and because it's on the grid and because we don't believe in private utilities, that means that if the government decides that you've had too much electricity for the month, you get turned off and now you're not going anywhere. Like,
we need slot cars.
Slot or swap?
Slot. SLOT.
What is an slot car?
I said a slot. I said we need slot cars. SLOT. Slot. You don't know what the fuck a slot car is?
I do not know what the fuck a slot car is.
I feel sorry for you for your fucking boring childhood.
Oh, those things.
That's a slot car.
Oh, okay.
You didn't have a slot car racetrack, a slut car racetrack when you were a kid?
No, I had computers when I was a kid.
Oh, I had computers. I had the internet when I was 6. Blow me.
Actually, I didn't have the internet when I was 6. In fact, when we got internet, it was dial up. It was over a 56K modem. It was slow as hell. And then I went to college.
And look at you now.
I'm doing a podcast.
This ain't a podcast. We're just testing. So
I see what you did there.
This article 4 months ago, lower price Tesla Model 2. Have you heard of that one? Model 2?
I have not.
Did they make a Model 1? Because if not, how can they make a Model? I mean, they have a Model 3. So the 2 is going to come before 3.
Well, it turns out if you open a checking account, your checks don't actually start at 1. They usually start at like 1,001. And the reason for this is that no one will accept a check with a low number, which is ridiculous.
You can tell the whoever makes your checks, because you don't have to get them from the bank, what number to start it at. You can put it at 18,000 if you want.
But they won't start from 1.
So this is Autocar is one of the most respected news organizations in the automotive space. In a report published March 15th, 2024, it said the Tesla Model 2, the long-awaited, less expensive car from Tesla, will enter production next year. Let's see.
That would be 2025.
Yes. Thank you, Captain Obvious. So would this be part of Project 2025?
No.
Note that Clean Technica Zax was termed the coming affordable car, the Model 2, as a joke, for a while, but Elon Musk eventually replied that it won't be called the Model 2. Elon Musk loves letters, so SXY. The only reason the Model 3 exists is because Ford had rights to the Model E name, which is interesting. You know, a lot of the Ford vehicles they begin with E. You know, so
does Ford own Jaguar?
I don't know who owns Jaguar.
Because they have the E-Type.
No, they have the F-Type. They don't have E-Type. They have F-Type. They may have E-Type. Maybe it's like an electric version, but
I don't think it's an electric.
They're called F-Type. To my knowledge, all of the Jaguars are F-Type. The only reason that the Model 3 exists is because blah, blah, blah. The whatever it's called, it could be called the BTF, capital SP. Yeah, him making fun of his kid's name. What are you doing? Is that a link?
That is an link.
Why is it still giving you jumper cables as a name?
I don't know. Probably because I left and came back.
You're such a pain in the ass. Yes, it still has you as freaking jumper cables. Why don't you change your name when you come in? You can't do that.
Well, it was changed at one point. Edit name.
Actually, at this point, I think the name jumper cables kind of works well for you because you're always starting shit. So, let's see. The report suggests the Tesla factory in Germany will be the first to produce the Model 2, since small and expensive cars are quite popular on the continent. But anathema, what does that mean? Go ahead, Mr. Big word guy.
Anathema, meaning
Google it.
It's kind of like a hate in an opposite.
Okay.
Death. It stops things.
But an anathema to Americans. Building the cars in Grundheit would save lots of money, but in shipping costs from Austin, Fremont, and Shanghai. Being developed under the codename Project Redwood, the secretive new model has a crucial role to play in helping Tesla defend its hard-won position among the world's leading electric car manufacturers. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? So I guess they're coming out. They don't tell you what the car is going to cost, like a projected, Now, I heard that Ford is bringing back a kind of a small truck based on the, just a second, I'm trying to do 10 things at once here.
Sure.
So Ford is bringing in a small truck based on the Maverick on the same platform or frame chassis, and it's going to be the Ranchero name. They're going to use which was the name of their version of the El Camino, the car/truck.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to start at 20,000, and it's going to have a 3-cylinder engine that'll fit in your pocket, I guess, because it's like a 1.3 liter, 1.5 liter engine. Just so you know.
Yes.
Above a trip to Sam's Club for some groceries and a large pack of toilet paper, don't put anything else in that truck with that tiny ass engine / transmission. It's probably going to be if I had to guess, it'll be a CVT. You're going to rip that thing to shreds just driving it home.
A long, long time ago, a neighbor that I became friends with, he had a buddy that did music, and they did music together, and they did a song that I think was about a car that I owned. And one of the lines in that song was the car's so slow that it speeds up when I cough. The other line, the one that I meant to mention, was I put groceries in it and the bumper touches the ground.
So you're done. Hold on. There we go. I was doing a little housekeeping while you were talking. Sorry. It's a bitch, man, trying to produce and and all that. That's why it's just testing. So there was a Type E Jaguar E-Type. It was called the E-Type, not a Type E. And but it was old school, something like you would see like an old James Bond character driving, right? Something that kind of that old classic.
The only reation I knew it existed
like
is that I watched Top Gear.
Did you change your name to Penis Wrinkle, or does this thing have AI and just already know what you are?
I think it has AI.
Okay. All right. So, is there anything in the news, real quick, that you wanted to talk about today? I really didn't listen to much new information today. I listened to yesterday's No Agenda, which was interesting. They had some interesting parts in it.
Actually, you know what? There is a couple of things. Let me. I was looking in the wrong place for it.
Wrong pocket.
Well.
So Maduro was declared the winner in the Venezuela election. Go figure, huh? That's a fair and free election if I ever saw one.
So
let's go with the guy that's been holding us back. We were doing great, and then 2013 or 2014 happened, whenever it was, and everything, was it 2012 when he got in? Then everything went to shit. We were doing fine, like we were getting an income from all the oil. Gas was like 10 cents a gallon. And then this guy gets in, and everybody's starving, and our aid packages to them are getting ganked and basically not making it to the people. They're being blocked. So yeah, but no, let's vote that asshole back in. Sure.
There was and it looks like there's the one place I didn't share. It was my locals. There was a story where somebody was calling out, oh God, what's his first name? David French, who was a conservative writer. He still writes for National Review. He wrote an article in the New York Times, and he was saying that Trump is hyper masculine, and that we should respect these 4 other men that are liberal and that are they don't have project machism or machoism. They don't. It's worth finding. Hang on, I shared it like 3 places, but apparently not anywhere useful.
I mean, we don't need names and dates here. You can just get the overall idea.
Well, I mean that kind of was the overall idea, but it's worth reading what he had to say, because but I wasn't prepared for that. But this is why it's called Just Testing, right? Because now I'm learning about here, there it was. FRENCH. Copy that link. And I'm guessing. Nice. Oh, I'm already logged in. Okay. This will be an interesting test. So I'm going to attempt to. Actually, how did you do the
screen share?
Yeah.
Okay. Underneath us, those round icons, one's a microphone, camera, hit the one with the plus. It's the third one from the left.
Okay. And when I did that, now it took me to that article because it's in the tab in Chrome.
You need to embrace clicking on the browser window with the article in it and using the command plus on your keyboard to blow it up. Ta-da. Thank you.
Right. I just can't see what size it is because I'm literally looking at the article, and I don't know if
now what you're at is very good.
Okay. So Chris Bray, who has a Substack at chrisbray.substack.com.
We don't need all that bullshit. Carry on.
He says that he's a charter member of the No One is Above Criticism Club. Everyone is fair game. People that run for office are really fair game. So I think it's just fine to criticize Donald Trump and to criticize J.D. Vance and to criticize Trump Vance 24. But what's so obvious over and over again is that people are writing the most insistent criticism are playing critic. that they know they're supposed to say that Donald Trump is very, very bad. So they do that a lot. But the substance of the criticism tends, with remarkable frequency, to be a set of non sequiturs and self-refuting rhetoric dead ends. They're criticizing because they're supposed to, not because they have criticisms to offer. Take David French, please. Here's his latest. David Trump isn't a real man because Hulk Hogan. And so French wrote an article, headline, Hulk Hogan is not the only way to be a man. The I didn't think this through flavor of the piece can't be exaggerated. It makes little sense, so poorly, with such odd structure and framing, that it nears the level of Thomas Friedism. David French doesn't know anything or understand anything, but he really throws himself into it. So, Hulk Hogan, Kid Rock, and Dana White were at the Republican National Convention, French writes, so the Republicans are being macho, unlike Democrats who are demonstrating a style of manhood that focuses on being kind, decent, and nurturing. Republican manhood is about complaints and empty rage. Democratic manhood is about building things and caring for others. Making the comparison concrete, French explicitly compares the macho grievous artist Trump to precisely 4 wonderfully gentle and caring men. Admiral William McRaven, the U.S. Senator and former astronaut and fighter pilot Mark Kelly, Mark Hertling, my former division commander in Iraq, and the former Marine Corps General and Secretary of Defense.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
That's a lot of references that are just unnecessary.
No. Those are the 4 people that are in French's article.
Yeah, great.
That he's saying that Trump should be more like.
Oh, okay.
Those 4 men are the model of masculinity that nurtures, loves, and builds. Trump is the model of a masculinity that only destroys and tears down. David French hates machismo. Machismo. So the list of men he admires is made up of entirely combat army officers. Do you see the problem?
So only combat army officers are allowed to be men.
Well,
macho type have the
no, because French's point is that they're not macho. They just happen to all be combat veterans, you see.
No, I don't understand the point.
Well, so the whole point of this article is that Chris Bray is calling out David French because
I understand that part of it
doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand why what David French's thought point is here with only those guys are allowed to be macho because they're combat veterans.
No.
Well, then what's the fucking point?
His point is that they're not macho, but they all 4 just happen to be combat veterans. So apparently they were combat veterans.
So it's okay to be okay. So it's okay to be a beta bitch. And because you can be a beta bitch, but still be a combat veteran.
I don't think that's what he's saying either. I think it would be more helpful to consider the following phrase: the tax in this section shall not be considered a tax.
Okay.
In other words, there isn't any consistent internal logic because the article is self-refuting. It contradicts itself. Do you see the problem? Because David French doesn't at all. Donald Trump is a real estate developer, someone who spent his entire adult life actually building things like this picture of Trump Tower. It's just fine to criticize Trump as a businessman if you feel inclined to do that. But he's a builder and a developer. That's his actual background. He makes things. He spent his life making things. And his political message is about making things and protecting people who make things, whether you agree with the specifics of his policy arguments or not. French draws a contrast to Trump's supposedly macho manhood of mindless grievance and empty rage with 4 men who nurture and care. And all 4 of the men he names come from the literal profession of arms, the culture of organized state violence. I also spent a few years playing an original role in the profession. E5 type, 1 each. And this isn't a criticism. But Trump is macho and violent, McRaven and Mattis are loving and gentle is such dumb rhetoric construction that it could only make it into print in the New York Times. Watch this as French describes McRaven. Quote, "But let's return for the moment to the Navy SEAL who served his country for decades, who helped kill one of America's deadliest foes, and who declared to American college graduates, you must have compassion. You must ache for the poor and disenfranchised. You must fear for the vulnerable. You must weep for the ill and infirm. You must pray for those that are without hope. You must be kind to the less fortunate." When I hear those words, I thought, that's the message American men need to hear. That's a message the American people need to hear.
So who is this David French guy? He's just a columnist or an opinion piece writer?
Yeah, he's been around for a long time. He used to, well, I keep saying used to. He still writes for National Review. He
said no Navy SEAL, says Wobbly.
But
so this guy's jack shit.
He has, I think he's part of the Lincoln Project, if I had to guess. Like, I think
so. He's jack shit. Got you. You mean the Lincoln Project that used to be calling themselves conservative, but they're not really. They're like rhinos, kind of.
They're establishment Republicans, which, yes, that's the same thing. They're anti-MAGA. So anyway,
right. Okay, yes. So does this get anywhere other than just, okay, this one guy that wrote the article is upset with this other guy who wrote this article? Like, I get the point, but this could be summed up in just...
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the point. Although I think this paragraph here is worth getting into,
okay, because
it mentions Vance. This is an even stranger contrast to set up with J.D. Vance, who opens his widely read book with a discussion. That's Hillbilly Elegy, which I have read. Who opens his book with a discussion of the violent and flawed men who stood in as his father figures in his disrupted childhood, writing about honor culture and the kind of violence that should land someone in jail. And I just want to stop right there and say that I'm having a difficult time recalling Vance's early childhood and the men that were in and out of his life. If memory serves correctly, I think his mom and dad had gotten divorced. His dad was out of the picture. She dated different men. There was at least physical abuse. I can't remember if there was
typical American family. Yeah. Next.
It was right. It was dysfunctional and
typical American family. Yeah. Next.
So if you open Hillbilly Elegy and read the first 10 pages of the very first chapter, you'll see immediately that he's talking about the rejection of violence and grievances in favor of a model of manhood and adulthood that focuses on making and building. Consistent with that theme, Senator J.D. Vance has been quite obviously focused on reindustrialization and industrial policy. And feel free to note that the unmanly and grievance-focused J.D. Vance co-authored the linked bill with David French's nurturing real man, Mark Kelly, which was, that's the Compressed Gas Cylinder Safety and Oversight Improvements Act of 2023.
That's important.
I mean, as a bill, probably not, but
probably need to put those efforts more towards, I don't know, the railroad cars that carry our shit that end up flipped upside down and blowing up and burning down small towns across America and basically poisoning the earth. But no, let's worry about a gas bottle.
I don't disagree with you. Like, it wasn't that important, but you also have to play the hand you're dealt. And when the train did flip in East Palestine, J.D. Vance did go to the town. And if you have a good memory for this sort of thing, you might recall that he challenged people in the Biden administration to come drink the water there, because remember the EPA, which was, or the Transportation Board, which was under Pete Buttigieg, they were saying that the water
drank a glass of the water out of the tap. Like they like put it up to their lips. They didn't put any of it in their mouth.
Exactly. So
I mean, pieces of shit.
You know, I'm not saying that Vance is perfect.
Yeah, but that's not like, that isn't the government's fault that per se. I don't know. Like, are there government inspector crews that have to inspect trains periodically, and all of their all of their cars that they pull along the railways, like kind of like they do with like health departments going to restaurants, gas stations, things like that, and make any place that sells food, and make sure that everything is on the up and up. And if not, they give them a score and order, tell them they got to get this shit fixed. Do we have that for the railways that are owned by these fucking billionaire pricks?
Yes. Now my memory's a little hazy on this because that was like 3 years ago, and there was some brouhaha because the media was trying to blame Trump for the derailment because there was some bill that was in front of Congress that would have made trains safer, but then it turns out that the thing that they were debating wouldn't have mattered. But I believe the NTSB. Oh, interesting.
So Wobbly chimes in here in the chat. There are safety standards for any compressed gas bottle. They also have to be tested every 5 years. Now, I know I used to take my gas bottles, my propane tanks, little 20-pound tanks that you use for your gas grill. I used to take those up. We'd keep like 4 or 5 of them, and we would take them up to Costco. Costco had a big old gas, propane LP thing right out there in the freaking parking lot. And one of the guys from the tire shop would walk over when you come up there, and there was always a line. It was ridiculous. Costco's so ridiculous. They could build a Costco next door to our Costco, and it would be just as busy as the existing Costco. It's like a Chick-fil-A. You can open up a Chick-fil-A next door to a Chick-fil-A, and it's going to be just as busy. And so they stopped doing LP back in January. They just took it out. Now it's back to being just parking spaces. They took out their huge tank and that whole damn. Anyway, they used to look at your tank on there. It's like stamped into the metal, like a date code. And I think at one point their rule was 8 years old, and at one point it was 12 years old for the tanks. And they would go back and forth like, oh, it's 8 years. Then 2 months later, oh, it's 12 years. Then 3 months later, oh, it's 8 years again. Like, figure it out. But yeah, your tanks had to be a certain age or under like a certain age for them to even connect to them and refill them. So I know that there's rules on it. I don't know if that's what Wobbly's talking about, or if this is on a larger scale, like acetylene and oxygen tanks and things like that for torches and yada yada yada, or if it just kind of blankets all of them. But anyway,
there's something. Go ahead. Okay, I was gonna say I've got something else. Go.
I got something I just pulled up. So this is I'll just let the video talk.
Okay.
We are learning new details.
I got to make sure the audio's up. Come on, stop it. Where's the audio at? Why is it so low?
Earlier timeline than what authorities had claimed.
Is it coming through?
Text messages obtained by Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley from the Beaver County officials, that's the county to the west of Butler County, show that law enforcement assigned to secure the rally were aware of a gunman about 90 minutes before Trump took the stage. That'd be around 4:30 in the afternoon. CB Cotton live in Butler, PA again to begin another week on this matter. CB, good morning.
She's cute.
Bill, good morning. These text messages now revealing that local counter snipers had spotted gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks earlier than previously reported. Bill, as you said, these text messages were obtained by Iowa Republican Senator Chuck Grassley from the Beaver County Emergency Services Unit. And the first message was sent from a local counter sniper who spotted Crooks at a picnic table at around 4:26 p.m. That officer wrote, quote, "Someone followed our lead and snuck in and parked by our cars, just so you know. I'm just letting you know because you see me go out with my rifle and put it in my car. So he knows you guys are up there." Less than an hour later, Crooks had moved and was reportedly right below the local counter sniper team, who were on the second floor in a warehouse building. One of the counter snipers then took photos of Crooks, which were later exchanged in a group chat with a text message reading, quote, "I did see him with a rangefinder looking towards stage. FYI, if you want to notify Secret Service snipers to look out. I lost sight of him." These photos were reportedly relayed to the Secret Service, posted in a command center. But according to the Washington Post, the Secret...
All right, real quick. Those buildings, damn it, I paused it so you could see the buildings, but these people are assholes. Those buildings looked like the exteriors were kind of a metal, right?
I wasn't paying
attention. They looked like they had a metal like a siding exterior. If you're in those buildings, I don't think these are any kind of like, they're not used for studio work. So I doubt that they're soundproofed, sound treated. I don't see a interstate anywhere nearby where there's going to be a lot of noise going by. So they need to add a little more extra soundproofing, sound reduction in the walls, that kind of thing. Right. So you go putting a ladder up against the damn thing to get up on the roof, it's going to bang and clang around a little, right? And if you're in that fucking building and you're in law enforcement capacity of any sort, shit, wouldn't you pop out that son of a bitch and go, "What's that fucking noise? We need to check."
Maybe. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know what the weather was like. If it was windy,
says there was no
not.
ladder. Duchess says there was no ladder.
Yeah, I've heard
scaled the AC unit. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I was in the understanding that there was a ladder. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your reply to my.
Oh no. At this point, I think that people have talked it to death, and I think that if Mark Grobert is correct, this is, and I'm not saying this is the CIA, but I'm saying that this is CIA behavior, like with the Kennedy assassination. When that event happened, even when the Warren report came out, people did not believe the Warren report. They believed that there was more than one shooter, and there were people that believed that Oswald did not shoot at the president. But over time, the narrative keeps getting muddier and muddier so that people are more willing to believe the official account. And in this case, I think somebody fucked up. If this wasn't
besides the Crooks kid, because he was the ultimate fuck up, right?
I don't know.
Well, if he would have made his target, then be a different world right now. It'd be a different world right now. Right? Let me go back to the video real quick because it's almost over.
Sure.
Service agents tasked with directly protecting Trump were never alerted. And now, for the first time, the local counter snipers reveal what they saw that afternoon.
He was looking up and down the building and just wandering around, and it just seemed out of place. I assumed that there would be somebody.
Let's have your lower thirds covering up the other lower thirds.
This individual, or find out what's going on.
Well,
our own analysis of the rally site revealing Crooks may have tried to give himself an apparent advantage over the counter snipers, positioning himself on the roof in a spot mostly concealed by trees.
Tree limb.
The local counter snipers who spoke to ABC News say they never had direct communication with the Secret Service until after the gunfire. Bill.
Okay, CB, more to come on that. Good to have you back there. Butler, PA, CB Cotton. Dave.
Well, what do you think?
So like I was saying earlier, the CIA's modus operandi when it comes to events like this is to muddy the water as fast as possible so that way nobody can figure out fact from fiction. And then it becomes a parlor game, and we're going to be guessing for the next 50, 60, 70 years of what actually happened. It's possible that this could have been ordered by Biden. Not that I think that he planned it out. I think that it would be more like in the case of Johnson, where Johnson wanted power. He was in control of Texas. There was a reason he was called Bull Johnson when he was in the Senate, because that was short for Bullshit Johnson. Because when he won his first election, the way he won that election was he had counted but hadn't released an official count. The Republicans turned in their count, and then he found another box of ballots that put him in office. And so it was said that he was called Landslide Lyndon for the same reason. It was all bullshit. He was a bullshit artist. It was a scam. So when Kennedy goes to Texas in November of 1963, he's in Johnson's territory. And Johnson wouldn't even have to say, kill that son of a bitch. He could just say, I want to be president. And then other people would go about implementing a plan, and no order has been given. There's no paper trail. So in the same way, it could be that this was ordered by Biden. And to further that notion, we could look at the fact that when the Supreme Court ruling came down just a handful of days prior to the Trump assassination attempt, that the immediate talking point was that means that the president of the United States can order someone assassinated, and that would be considered an official act, and he couldn't be prosecuted for it. So if they were pushing that talking point, would it be so absurd for them to put a plan in place to assassinate their political opponent?
Well, but how can the CIA see either side as a political opponent? Aren't they supposed to be nonpartisan? Like,
no.
Their job is intelligence.
Well, it's intelligence, it's counterintelligence. But if you think that a candidate for president is going to take down the country, then by definition, isn't your job to take out that threat?
No.
Why not?
A candidate? How much power does a candidate have?
Well, if the candidate gets elected, they have absolute power.
So how would they be a threat to the country? This candidate has already served 4 years and didn't.
It doesn't matter.
Take it down.
They didn't like him the first time around. They co-opted the presidency.
They didn't like him before he even got into office. Like,
I know.
They didn't even give him a chance to see what he could do. Like, they didn't even put him on the mound to throw a pitch. Like, they already thought he sucked.
So why let him get to the mound a second time? Take him out. And now the threat is gone.
But that's not the CIA's job. Their job is not, okay, so the CIA doesn't see all the things that happened under the current admin as, I don't know, detrimental to this country? No,
because the CIA is largely running the operations. Who do you think is operating in Ukraine?
Exactly. Well, like Long Legs Biden, the one that appeared, over the end of last week, end of the weekend.
You mean the taller double?
Long Legs Biden. That's what No Agenda is calling him, Daddy Long Legs.
I haven't. I'm a couple episodes behind.
Yeah, he's. I think Adam made a joke saying, "Yeah, he's got like a 42 inseam," which is I've got a video here that I found and I thought was interesting, and I'd like to know what your take is on it.
Sure.
Just a second, I gotta learn this stuff. Tell me if the audio is whatever.
Ford, what advice would you give a young lady wanting to become president of the United States?
Well, I hope we do have a young lady at some point become president.
This is in 1989.
States.
President Ford.
I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the
organically
normal course of events. Either the Republican or Democrat political party will nominate a man for president and a woman for vice president. And the woman and man will win. So you'll end up with a president, a male, and a vice president, a female. And in that term of office of the president will die. And the woman will become president under the law or Constitution. And once that barrier is broken, from then on, men better be careful.
Here he's just buttering up.
Because they'll have a hard time ever even getting a nomination in the future. But that's the way it's going to happen.
Especially every 28 days. But isn't it interesting that back in 89, he was able to kind of call it and see that, because that's sort of how it's going. I mean, we ain't dead yet, but he's still got like 4 or 5 months left.
Well, so I don't think that he was necessarily prescient, because if you think through the problem logically, either a woman has to get on the top of the ticket and get elected by securing enough votes,
which he said wouldn't happen,
to get the votes in the Electoral College, or she would have to be vice president, and then you'd have to get rid of the president one way or the other so that she could become president.
I mean, I'm not calling the guy a modern day Nostradamus, but he kind of hit the nail on the head 35 years before it happened. Well, sorry, yes, 30.
But do you know
30-ish years before it happened?
Do you know what else Ford did?
Built crappy cars.
Gerald Ford, on the Kennedy autopsy, moved the entry wound in President Kennedy's shoulder to his neck so that it would look like there was a shot from behind,
yes,
that came in the neck and out the throat.
Right.
When we know that the throat wound was actually an entry wound, not an exit wound.
Right.
And he did it, so he claimed, for the good of the people. And that's why he was part of the Warren Commission.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he got access to political power. In part. I mean, he and Arlen Specter. So the man would know something about coups, is all I'm trying to say.
Does he have doves? Pet doves? Because that's what doves do. They coo. That was a joke that you
yes, I know.
didn't get.
I couldn't think of a good response. I have something I'd like to share. Is
it your gum?
No.
Good, because I can't have gum right now. I have a temporary crown, and I'm afraid it's going to pop out of my mouth.
I've got 2 temporary crowns. I had them done over the weekend.
I get my I had one done. It was like a case of like I had an old like a filling, and it had a little bit of decay going on. It didn't hurt or anything. I just asked him because the existing filling was kind of popping out just a little bit from where it was, and I could tell it with my tongue. And he was like, "Yeah, we'll X-ray it." So we X-rayed it, and he was like, "Yeah, you're got a little bit of new decay growing above that old filling. So we're just gonna crown that tooth." And I said, "Well, that's $1,000." He goes, "Yep, it is."
Yep.
So
I had
because I don't have insurance anyway.
I had a root canal done up top and then on bottom,
Yeah.
and I thought she had put a crown up top. If she did, it disappeared. He said it was just filled. On the bottom, she put in a temporary, and I didn't have the money to go back and get it fixed. But like, not even 3 months after, actually, immediately when I left, I was chewing gum, and I could feel the gum get stuck in that crown, but I didn't really understand what was going on because I was stupid and I didn't think it through.
Yeah.
Then, like in January, that crown broke in half,
Ouch.
So I had half of it in. It didn't hurt. I mean, it was more it hurt because I tried to actually bite on the crown, when it broke off and came loose. So this weekend he took the temporary, or the half of that temporary out. He filed down both the teeth, and now there's metal temps on it. And 2 weeks from Wednesday, I'll go in and get the permanent crowns, and then I've got a tooth down here that needs to be filled and then crowned.
Yeah, I go in a week from this Tuesday, I think, for my permanent. So
riveting dental news.
Hey,
in our health segment,
we're just testing.
That's true.
See, now you know why I want the name.
But I did want to read.
It's called plausible deniability for reasons why we suck at doing this.
Health Ranger, and I have no clue who this guy is.
Well, he's at Health Ranger, or they are at Health Ranger on X.
Bravo, sir. You get a point. He says, I'm getting intel from a couple of different sources today that indicate that the chaos inside the DNC is far from over, and Kamala is very likely not going to be their final candidate. Others who are far more ambitious and who have even more blackmail material are jockeying for position right now and are plotting the removal of Kamala, who has plenty of historical dirt herself. If this fails, be ready for an all-out activation of embedded enemy combatants who illegally crosses into the United States and are awaiting orders to carry out sabotage chaos operations.
Well, the thing here is, and I've heard a handful of, people, I don't know what their credibility is in regards to what, whether or not they've been right in the past or that kind of thing, or how much in the know they are, how well connected they are. But I have heard others claim, and these are people online, whatever, that, she is not going to be the one. Like, when it comes down to it, she's not going to be the one on the ballot. They're just like playing along for right now. And I don't know. I think a big thing here is that $100 million campaign purse. That if that ends up going to the DNC, it has a lot less buying power, because in the hands of a candidate, not a PAC, but in the hands of the actual candidate, campaign commercials or shit on like that on television are at an extremely low price, and that is set by law.
I did not know that.
It is. So, but that's only available for the candidate if they're the ones paying for it. If it comes from the DNC or some PAC, then no, that price is vastly different. Now, I don't know what those numbers are. I don't know if that information's even out there in the world, but that is definitely the case. So I don't know how much that 100 million is gonna move the DNC or the powers that be to keep her on the bill.
I mean, it's money. It's a lot of money. I think that they could probably raise that money again, just because of who they are, because the money flows through Act Blue.
They claim over the weekend on a Zoom call with all these women. It was a woman-based, Zoom call that the host claims that there were 40,000. I was on a Zoom call with 40,000, women. They raised 1.5 million or some shit in donations for her just during that. I think it was an hour and a half or 2 hour Zoom call, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe it. I haven't seen receipts. A lot of this shit, I don't believe it. Just because they say it don't mean it happened.
I can believe it, but I can also disbelieve it. So I don't know what I really believe. But the argument for is that Kamala is getting the best press she's going to get right now. As time goes on, things are just going to get worse for her.
After this week, shit is going downhill for her quickly.
And because of that, you did have moneyed people that said that they were no longer going to donate to Biden prior to Biden announcing his leaving the race. So there was a bunch of money that was going to go into politics one way or the other, and it was going to go in on the Democrat side, and now it's coming down on Kamala's side. Robert Barnes has talked about whether or not, and I wrote a little piece about this on Substack, about what would happen with that money. In Barnes's view, that money can't go to Kamala because she was not on the ticket, because the ticket was not Biden-Harris, it was just Biden. Biden had not announced who his VP was. It was assumed it would be Harris, but we don't know that. The FEC did release a statement talking about what could or couldn't happen with the money. I forget exactly what they said in that. Barnes seems to think, and this is what I think historically will happen, whether or not it's legal. I think that Kamala is going to take the money and no one's going to contest it because it would have to be Biden's Department of Justice that would look into and prosecute that crime. So unless, what's his name? Merrick Garland hates Kamala, I don't see that even if it is a crime that it'll get prosecuted. And if it does, it'll be after the fact. It'll probably be a fine. She won't go to jail.
But what if they do this and then things don't go their way, and the other guy gets in office, and then he decides, you know what, I'm bored. I've done, executive ordered everything that I wanted to. I've done all of my dictatoring, as they claim,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm bored. I want to see if she did if they did any janky shit with her campaign, money, right? And then boom, couldn't he order it?
Yeah, but I think that there's a timing to that, and I think you'd have to do that day one. And if you do that, then it's going to look like it's a dictatorship when it's really not a dictatorship.
You mean like the existing dictatorship?
Absolutely. When in fact it's prosecuting a real crime because the law was broken. But it's just like when people
34
come over.
counts.
It's just like when people come over the southern border. They're here illegally. They're illegal immigrants, but that word has vanished from the vocabulary. And even if you do call them illegal immigrants, people say, so what? They're here. They need jobs just like everybody else. Why would you say that? Why would you treat them like criminals? They haven't done anything wrong.
Did you hear her last week? She was going around saying all this, like, I prosecuted, sex offenders or whatever. He has been found guilty of sexual offenses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then she was like, I forget all the comparisons that she made about. Anyway, I was like, yeah, you or she used to suck a lot of dick, and Trump happens to like getting his dick sucked.
Right.
So let's make all the comparisons while we're doing this.
Well, and when Clinton was in trouble, it was only sex that he lied about, so it's not real perjury. I mean, it was almost like having Whoopi Goldberg there saying, "Well, it's rape, but it's not rape."
Or
and the
it could be E. Jean Carroll there on Anderson Cooper saying that rape can be sexy.
Right. But yet somehow she's a victim and needs to have a chunk of Trump's money.
I find you interesting, Tom.
Oh, you do?
She said that to Anderson Cooper. I'm like, are you aware he's a gay man? You're aware she's just coming on to him right there. Like, does she know he's in the community? Like,
some people have they can smell money. And E. Jean Carroll sitting across from Anderson Cooper smelled money.
No, I think she wanted to put like a finger in his butt and then do things with that microphone on herself with him watching. Like,
the whore can like the sex. That doesn't mean that she isn't a businesswoman. And when it comes to Kamala, look at the fact that she withheld evidence in a case and kept someone incarcerated because she wanted to have power over that person. Or when, and I can't get the details of this straight right off the top of my head, but there was some company that she was involved in the prosecution. The case should have been dropped and it wasn't. And it was all because they had donated to her political opponent, not to a Republican, but to another Democrat. I mean, this is a woman who, if you've got a real good memory for this sort of thing, you might remember that when Clinton was running for president in 1992, he had to rush back to Arkansas because he was governor of Arkansas, and he signed the order to execute someone who was considered insane. I don't know why he wasn't in the court case, why he wasn't considered insane and couldn't stand trial, but Clinton gave the order and he was executed. And the reason for this was so that he could look tough on crime. Kamala's saying this shit so that she can appear to look tough on crime. But it's a smokescreen. She doesn't give two shits about being tough on crime. What she cares about is her own power.
Wobbly chimes in there in the chat and says the new favorite drink for Democrats is cum alata. Cum alata. You don't watch Wobbly. He here lately he's gotten to where he is playing a tank game. I forget what it's called. I'm sorry, like World of Tanks or something of that sort. Sorry if that's the wrong one. I don't want to like offend you if that's one of those, not as cool versions, but
well, I think World of Tanks.
He plays a game where it's all tanks and there's, of course there's opposing forces and such. And they, but he's gotten to where I think it's because he's I think the news that he plays, and he'll play clips and then he'll comment on the. He won't comment on each clip, but he'll play the clips and then stop and give his thoughts on all of this shit. And he's usually dead on, and I respect his input because he's a veteran. He's an older man. He's got me by about 20 years, but he's very sharp still, and I like his points, his hot takes, and I've always liked to hear from the generation like above mine. I learn from them. I don't look down upon them. And I think if our younger generations would do the same, this world might be an actual better place. But I think at some point he broke a little bit and he just got tired of just the entire show focus, or his focus during the show, just being on these clips. And he began to just also share him playing the game kind of in the background. It'll be down here in the corner while he's playing. Of course, sometimes you'll be listening to a clip, like a news clip, and you can't hear the audio because he's cussing at the teammates that he has. You dumb fuck! What do you get the fuck out of my way? What are you doing? That kind of shit. But yeah, I enjoy, because I don't have time in the mornings if I'm going to work. I don't have time to sit here and hunt down all these clips. He's already got them. Like it just makes my life easier. Plus, I enjoy. He's got some really good people in his chat. He's only on Kick. He's no longer on Twitch, and so he's so_wobbly. If anybody hears this that doesn't watch him or know about him, I doubt that they will. But again, this was just testing, and I'm gonna have to get out of here though. It's almost like 7 o'clock, and my lady has been home from work for over an hour now, and I haven't even paid her any mind whatsoever. So, kind of an asshole. This was just an impromptu testing. I was taking some time today after work. I knew that I had subscribed for a year to one of these damn streaming platform services where we can come in here and do this without having to advertise the brand and all that crap. Anyway, it's a paid version, and I forgot which one. I had to dig up in my credit card statements from back in November, because I knew that's when I did it, and see which one I did. So, and then I invited Tom to see, get him in here, get him kind of used to it and playing with the buttons. And I'm not 100% happy with this one, but for right now it'll work. I still have a lot of work to do regarding getting links set up to where when we go live, it automatically sends out the smoke signal to those who care. And we'll actually put together more of a show, hopefully down the road. Maybe not this week. We may go live again this week, but it's probably just going to be more testing bullshit. But yeah, so this is going to be a thing. I think so. Anyway, what do you think, Tom?
I think so. I mean, I think that it probably would help if we were a little more focused or had, something that we were planning on talking about. But as a concept, I think this works. I think that we can work together. I think we need to get 10, 15, 20 episodes into it, and we'll find a groove. And
yeah. All righty. Well, let me cue some music. Tank, can you hear this? No.
I can hear it.
Okay. Well, then if you can, then everybody else can too. That's loud. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. I don't know that I'm going to download any of this and get the audio or none of that. I don't think it's really worth it. If you think so, Tom, just let me know. And we will catch you on the next one. We don't know when that's going to be. Like I said, we're working this week on trying to get more of this design and to where we have more of like a format and whatnot, and a time frame. So
I will head to Discord.
You're going to Discord? Okay. Yeah. If anybody wants to go to our Discord, well, it'll be the Boomer Bunker Discord. We don't have one of our own, but we're at home there. I don't think John and him mind, since technically that used to be my show. So I'm still admin there and whatnot. But all right. I don't know that I'll go there. I may. We'll see. So see what my lady's doing. If she's minding her own damn business and ain't interested in me being a part of it, then I'll probably jump in.
All right, we'll see you there.